Hi guys. Um, I was gonna come in guns a-blazing with something funny, but the energy right now doesn't really feel like that's where we're at. So I've been sitting here trying to figure out how I'm going to go about this message that really wants to come out. And I feel like the more I sat here and tried to think, the more it was apparent that I just needed to push play and start. What I'm feeling right now is kind of a wave of heaviness, and it's been here for a few hours, and so I've just been sitting with myself to see if there's something inside of me that needs to be worked through. And I really feel like it's a collective energy. I feel like a lot of us are integrating, which is so good, but it can feel a little heavy. A lot of us, I feel like, might be pretty overwhelmed with everything that's going on. I think some of us just need a nap. I know I do. I want to honor the energy, but I am hoping that things lighten up as I get this message out, because it's not a light message. So in saying that, if you are feeling overwhelmed right now, I would click off. I don't advise to be putting more input in when you're feeling overwhelmed, because in my experience, when I'm overwhelmed, that means integration is there. There's too much input, and now we need to just sit with the information and let it sink in and integrate or dissipate. There's a lot of information that we take in on a daily basis, whether we do it to ourselves or not, that is, kind of playing in the background, and a lot of those programs need to be shut down. You know what I mean? So this message is slightly complex because it's got a couple different topics that are seemingly unrelated, but I think they're only seemingly unrelated. And I find that with a lot of things in life, you can make a connection that seems unrelated, and it unlocks a solution for you in one area of your life. But if you look very closely, you can use that same connection or solution to other parts of your life as well. And I'm going to try to give you an example, but maybe it'll come up the more I speak on what I'm going to speak about. Okay, so this is rough, guys. I want to talk about medicine of all forms. Food is medicine. Caffeine can be a medicine. Nicotine or tobacco can be a medicine. Marijuana and other plant medicines can be medicine. And I think you know where I'm going with this. We don't want to be taking medicine every day, right? And the problem that I have with medicines being controlled this is rough. Why am I having such a hard time with this? I'm just gonna say it. There's been, plant medicines that are being released from the god-awful drug list. And I think it's such a fantastic thing, but it's also very manipulative. Because, and please comment if you think this is just my own personal trust issues or what, but I don't think the intention behind releasing it from the drug list is to actually heal people. I think the intention is to make more profit. And there are so many instances in our society where, even food is no longer as healing as it's supposed to be, because people are more concerned with profit than they are with health. Everything can be addictive, even quote unquote positive things. Going to the gym can become addictive in a way, well, I was gonna say in a way that's bad, but the definition of addiction is something that you can't stop doing even though it's causing negative effects on your life. And so I think we all suffer from thinking that others have addiction, and completely looking past the plank in our own eye. This is going to be terrible for me to say, but I'm just going to try to say it. When weed was illegal, I feel like it was safer. If that were the case today, it might not have been, because we got weirdos putting fentanyl on shit, you know, all that stuff. But I think it being in a dispensary causes a false veil of safety when we really don't know for sure if we can trust the people who are regulating these things. So I think what tends to happen is they get marked up and we end up paying more for less medicine and paying more for more addiction. And that being said, we all have to take responsibility for ourselves and realize what medicines we've come to depend on, even if it's food. And this is definitely not where I thought I was going. I'm sorry, y'all. I think it's just one of those things that just needs to kind of be said directly, and I'm trying to beat around the bush and make it easy, you know? Fasting. It's all the craze right now, right? And what they want you to believe is that your body is not perfect the way it is. How do I believe in your body more than you believe in your body? Fasting is meant, in my humble opinion, not to make you skinny. Source does not give a fuck if you are skinny. Fasting is meant to break down those programs that believe that 3 large meals a day, perfectly balanced in the triangle that someone told you was healthy, with snacks in between, is what your body must have. Fasting is meant for you to give your body a break, to reset, to remember that it can regenerate your own cells. If it's too busy digesting, kind of like the overwhelm thing. If it's too busy digesting all the food that you're telling it that it needs when it doesn't necessarily need all that food, and this is not a slight. Trust me, I've been every size under the sun. And I've taken fasting quite far. I'm sure you guys noticed that I was pretty freaking thin when I first started this channel. I'm not gonna say I believe we can evolve to a point where we don't even need food. But is that where we're at right now? No. Is that what we need to be striving for right now? No. You know why? Because if you are fasting but still have tons of toxins coming into your system, that's also not a healthy state to be in. And you don't have control over all the toxins that are being introduced into your environment. So even if you eliminate food, like the toxic food, that doesn't mean that the air you breathe, that doesn't mean the water that you drink, the products you're still using don't have toxins in them. And I'm not saying fast, I'm not saying don't fast, I'm not saying stop smoking weed, start smoking weed. What I'm trying to get across is this is what I'm trying to get across. Our buildings, in a metaphorical sense, are burning to the ground. We cannot build straight on top of the coals that may still be red and expect what we build on top of that foundation to last.